Hello and welcome back to Marvel Puzzle Quest with me, P.I. McLeod, day 3877 of the game. Just 3 days away from a free crystal cover, a red one at that. Something to look forward to if you're pretty close to that number. I know a few of you are. Anyways, we're not here for that. Never are we? How you enjoying May Parker so far? Or April, if we're talking about the 3-star. Both of them are, they're pretty decent. I love that dodge mechanic of the 5-star. There seems to be some cool interactions you can do with these two. Meta, not necessarily that tall, but it might be pretty good. We'll have to play with it some more. We'll get there. We'll talk about it at some point in the future, obviously. We're here today for the Crash of the Titans. There's only one of them to do this time, which is kind of nice. Sometimes it gets overwhelming with all the crashes due. I just realized I didn't do the Behemoth Burrito this week, or today, or whatever day it is. I'll get to that later. Anyways, Crashing the Titan starts now. Ooh, going against Wolfsbane. Okay, so Wolfsbane, I'd say is at least like, 4 to 5 years old within the game. I think about 4 to 5 years old. Jeez, it's been a while since she came out. But when she came out, meta stuff was already defined. There was a lot of things that were already stronger than her. I'm pretty sure Polaris was already out at that point. There's certain things that are already happening, already shaking things up. She came out a little too late. And it's a shame because, when people talk about invisible characters like Miles Morales or 4-star Professor Xavier or, people that turn invisible and can win the game by themselves, no one mentions Wolfsbane. And they should. She can go invisible and she has hard-hitting moves. The only problem is that when she goes invisible, she can't just get ready to go invisible the same way. Hey John, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for joining the stream. She's really good, honestly. She's got good strength, good ability, good strike tiles, all kinds of fun stuff. But yeah, she should be better, John. And that, not to mention, her invisibility isn't enough. It's kind of funny how that works. She's definitely someone who's about doing damage and just putting out damage, not defense, not healing, not anything like that. And she can go invisible while doing it, but that's not enough. You'd think it would be, but it's not. We get to go against her. Now, does that make her scary that she's so offensive and going invisible? Sure, if she goes invisible, that can be troublesome. But, let's just not let her do it. I know, easier said than done, right? It's her black power, in case you're wondering. So try not to let her use her black power to go invisible. Easy peasy, maybe? Let's see who we get to use against her. Multiple Man, Jimmy Madrox. Well, I guess it's a good thing they only gave us one node to use with him because, honestly, I think it'd be boring to do the same thing twice. You'd be like, well, hey, Pi, don't you do the same thing twice most other crashes? No. Let me explain. Jamie Madrox, or Multiple Man, has one shtick. And one shtick only. Sure, he has 3 powers, but some people have multiple things they can do with their powers. Jamie Madrox is really, really, really built around these dupes. Let's start with his, should we start with the black? Yeah, let's start with the black. Hit Me Again is a passive that says that every time he takes damage, and that means match damage, power damage, whatever, right? You get to create a dupe tile on the board. And that prioritizes putting it over top of an enemy strike, attack, or projectile as well. It doesn't mean it automatically does it, but it will definitely try to as best it can. I've seen it put it in random places when there's clearly an enemy strike. So I don't know, maybe a little bit of bias on my side. Maybe I'm like seeing it wrong, but I swear I see it avoiding tiles at times. I'm not sure. Anywho, it does overwrite them sometimes, so that's a good thing. This can't be disabled, so even if he's stunned or, well, maybe not disabled. I shouldn't say it like that. You know how like Cosmo and other characters will disable a power? He just can't be disabled out of it like that. It's weird. We don't have that mechanic that comes around that often, so it's hard to say it. We don't have an actual universal description for that yet. I guess disabled is the best word for it. There's only a couple characters that can do that. Anyways, he does 2% increased match damage, 2% reduced damage for each friendly dupe on the board, which isn't much, but it adds up because you can get a ton of these guys on the board. Remember, there's up to 64 tiles available. And if 34 or more friendly dupes, which means half the board, a little over half the board, ever exist, multiple man's team wins the match. Also, dupes can only be matched away if they're part of a match 4 or higher. That means they actually have to be part of the match 4. So if you have a match 4 of red and it goes horizontally across the board, right? It destroys that row. The other tiles in that row that are dupes are not removed because they're not part of the match 4. It's a really, really good way of keeping your tiles around. Not to mention his dupes aren't just, placeholder tiles. They're also attack tiles, protect tiles, strike tiles. You read this here? This yellow power makes them into other things. So you drain up to 10 AP in a selected color. Notice it costs 0 to cast. Then drain up to 2 AP. You have to do at least 2 AP, I should say. And then for each 2 AP drain, you create 2 dupes. So it's like a 1-for-1 process, but you have to have at least 2 to start the process. Anyways, so if you pick red and you have 10 AP, that's going to be 10 red dupes that get created. That's as long as there's 10 red tiles out there, of course. 123 damage attack tiles, or in this case, 88 protect, 88 strike. Depends on the color you're doing. Yellow makes traps, which do healing. Purple makes traps, which do damage to random enemies. And then the black is like a repeater that deals damage to multiple man and to random enemies. Now remember, that damage to yourself also will trigger another dupe per his black passive. Needless to say, if you start with a +2 to all AP boost, you can make a lot of dupes right off the rip. Anyways, where'd my music go? Oh, I know where my music went. Give me 1 second. I want this to play now. Really weird. Fast forward. Skip to a track. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Had to see behind the curtain there for a minute. My music switched to another playlist around here. Maybe I should pay for the double Spotify thing, right? Maybe I shouldn't be so cheap. Anyways, multiple man. We did the black description. We did the yellow description. John said a couple things, and I missed right by it. No real variety and one-trick pony. Yes, never paid attention to his black. Dupes make him stronger. Doesn't matter. 34 dupes ends things. You are 100% correct in that. It doesn't matter. Dupes end thing. But I would like to state one extra thing on top of that, John. These dupes, since you can't remove them via any normal way besides a match 4 or better, right? I've played around with this. You could start with let's see how his strikes are on green and attacks are on red. Stuff like that. You could start with red AP and green AP, cast that yellow, my own best friend, do it for greens, do it for reds, and have Kitty Pryde as a partner. And she boosts them. And guess what? They are now hard to remove. These are strikes and attacks that are hard to remove because they're dupes. They're not regular strike and attack tiles. All of a sudden, you have hard to remove tiles that are a nuisance. Do they get the same treatment with Polaris? Yes. If Polaris matches, let's say you match 3 red tiles, right? 2 of them are strike dupes, right? She doesn't get rid of them because it's only a match 3, but they are special tiles, so Polaris does recreate them in multiple across the board as regular strike tiles. Not as dupes, but regular strikes. And yes, his dupe ability, before you ask, can overwrite friendly tiles too, so you don't have to worry about it clogging the board. It's quite handy. It's super handy. You're just placeholdering everything. Multiple mana is a great way to just plug up the board and make it so the enemy can't do a lot of things. And plus, you could use that to your advantage with Kitty, with you get the idea, with other people to help boost stuff. Finally, there's this green. It isn't the thing we're really going to talk about too much because no one's using his green that often. Reabsorb costs 0. Again, his abilities are cheap. If you could even say 0 is cheap. I guess it is. Does that count as cheap? Free is cheap, right? Anyways, drain up to 14 green AP at level 5. And for every 2 AP you've spent, reabsorb 1 friendly dupe, destroying those tiles. For each absorbed, you gain some health and gain 25% of the AP that would be generated by destroying those dupes in those colors. Basically, so 25% of what you're destroying comes back to you. If you got 14 tiles, it says for every 2 AP, 1 dupe is gone, so it's being 7 dupes come back. That's 1.75 AP regenerated. It's really not that great of a deal. It's good for healing for him if he really needs it. But did you miss earlier when he gets 2% increased match damage and 2% reduced damage for every friendly dupe on the board? He's taking a lot less damage. Not to mention his his blues are projectiles. He's actually pretty well fortified. Sure, he can be killed. He's not invincible, but he's a good dude. He's definitely useful. And may I say, I've used multiple man to win via dupes with 4-star Coulson in pick 2 PvPs against champed Shang-Chi and champed Mighty Thor many a times, and other duos as well. I'm not trying to say it's invincible. I am saying it's a cheesy, easy way to get some PvP victories. All right, we've had enough talk about that. Let's get on in here. I have to turn on the animations because once again, I forgot to do it before we went into the menus. I'm a human. That's amazing. Here we go. Crush the Titans. Does Lady Thor delete dupes? She can. She can destroy them. But here's the problem with Lady Thor destroying dupes. She only starts with a couple of charge tiles on the screen. If you're starting with multiple AP, you easily outnumber her tiles. Easily. And then you're going to make more AP via Coulson or 5-star Hawkeye or whoever else you partner him with to absorb more AP, right? And as soon as that starts happening, your dupes outnumber her. Match away those charge tiles if you have to, but you start to own the board quicker than she could do anything with it. I've never had her get in my way. Never. Not for multiple man, at least. It was quite scary the first few times because, like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but then it works. So, dupes grow faster than charge tiles. This is true. That is exactly how it works. Okay, animations are on. Multiple man versus Wolfsbane. I'm not sure why this is Why is this like who we're going against? What a weird matchup. Anyways. I didn't put any of the boosts on because I didn't want you guys to be like thinking like, oh, that's normal. It's not normal to start with all those boosts all the time. So we're just doing an all natural match. Okay. Let's do a blue and green ditty right here. Oh no, I got hit. That's a dupe. Both on X Factor back in the day. You know what? I'll acquiesce. I do not know. I literally don't know. So if they're both on X Factor back in the day, then points to you, friend, because I don't know that. We're going to do a couple of these things for animation sakes. Let's get some blues out here. Oh, man. Animation time, right? Let's get some reds out here. We should probably get some greens because we have the AP for it. And we don't have enough to do purple or black yet, but that's okay. We will now. Oh no, I got socked. That's another dupe. Look at that. See, this dupe says protect this tile for 2 more turns to launch your attack. Deal some damage to multiple man and 2 random enemies. This red one, it's an attack tile. Deal 123 damage to enemies each turn. But it shows his little face. So you don't really know till you click. Look at that green one. Little face. Each ally attack does 88 more damage to enemies. It's a strike tile. The blue one is a protect tile. Okay? Getting it? You following me? Good. Let's put out some black ones. Okay, we need what? We don't have yellows yet. Gotta collect them all. It's like Pokemon. Pokemon with dupes. How much damage did you do to me? 806. Not enough. What do we got now? I could cast some yellow. Let's do that. That makes a couple traps. Now it looks like trap tiles, which means the enemy can't see them, but they're still dupes. So they don't, the dupes don't go away unless this is a match 4 or greater. So the enemy will figure out that they're dupes once they do a match 3 and that tile doesn't go away. Okay? The secret's out then. I mean, as long as they're paying attention, let's be fair. So I just took 1 damage from that match. Just 1. Oh, look. More damage outgoing. It's ridiculous. Should we do more? If you look into black, by the way, see, hit me again. Look at the bottom of it. I know it's kind of hard to see on the stream. I'm sorry. This is a mobile game after all. Current number of dupes equals 21. 21 dupes out there right now. So let's do some more yellows. And do some more greens. I'll probably save the green AP I get from here on out so we can do that last animation. I probably just should have saved that green, actually. You know what I'll do? Look at this. Look at this black. I'm going to match the black right here. Can't do it. Not a match. Literally can't match the black because none of those tiles would go away. Just wanted you to see that in case you didn't know. So I'm clogging the board. She can't do stuff with this. See? She did a match and it did nothing. Oh, she died from it. Oh, well, I guess no green animation this time. Sorry, guys. She died too quick. She should have went invisible. Oh, wait, she couldn't. I clogged the board. Seriously, he's really good against a lot of different people because you can clog the board and the enemies can't get AP. They can't establish tiles. They can't get things rolling. I don't think he's looked at correctly. People think of him as just a quick win mechanic, but honestly, he's a nuisance. Anyways, that is Multiple Man, or Jamie Madrox's Crash of the Titans, which is a very short one today. More explanation than fight, really. But hey, I've seen more people online scream and cry about not understanding how Multiple Man works than actually just playing it and trying him out. He's not hard to understand. It's just he looks wordy. It looks wordy, it reads worthy, and you have to give him a try before you start to understand what's going on. Anyways, it's not Shang-Chi punchy, so it's not fun, right? Oh, well. Thank you very much for joining me today, John. I don't think we got too much unscheduled this week. There's not a lot of things coming up in the whole event calendar. How you guys doing with your Spider-Verse events for the month? I hope you guys are doing good on them. It's pretty easy to knock most of them out of the way. Just include them as part of your daily PvE or PvP grind like I've been doing. You can knock them out. It's not as complicated as Chasm. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess if you're talking about Chasm, at least Chasm's all passives. So you don't even have to cast anything. But yeah, I think Chasm, as annoying as he was, nowadays it's almost like he's more trouble than he's worth. He's good for that first turn stun, though. Oh well. Oh yeah. Chasm is advanced math. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. All right, let's leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me, John. I'll talk to you guys really soon. Later, everybody.